Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Tenyan. Welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to be reviewing the remake of the cult 80s action movie Roadhouse, directed by Doug Liman. I was asking myself, is this going to be as crazy and ridiculous and over the top as the original movie? I've always been a big fan of that original 1989 movie. I just loved its over the top action and Patrick Swayze's charismatic performance, of course, and just all those cheesy, corny one liners.
You're too stupid to have a good time.
First of all, I want to start with the cast, and especially Jake Gyllenhaal, who plays Elwood Dalton, an ex UFC fighter who is dealing with his tortured past, drifting from town to town until he winds up in the Florida Keys, and then gets hired by a bar owner named Frankie, played by Jessica Williams, and she hires him as a bouncer to clean up her bar, which is being beset by brawls and assaults and all sorts of crazy shit every night. The movie has the same predictable formula as that first 80s movie. You have the good guys and the bad guys, and that kind of Wild West formula of the lone stranger walking into this lawless town and then cleaning it up. And actually, this remake even has an ironic reference to those kinds of Wild West stories and action formulas that it's leaning into. So there's a kind of knowing wink and a sense of irony. The movie is aware of its kind of silly action tropes. The remake wants to take a more grounded approach to the material, which is totally fine. And in fact, it's that grounded, gritty tone that really brought me into the movie and the story and made Gyllenhaal's character so compelling. He brings some emotional layers and depth to the character. Like, he can convey a lot just through silent expressions, just through like a look or a smile. He doesn't have a lot of theatricality and doesn't, show off. He's just very efficient. Even in his fighting style is very efficient. As far as the villains are concerned, the main ringleader is played by Billy Magnuson, who plays Ben Brandt, who is basically the spoiled little rich kid. Magnuson is good at playing this kind of narcissistic character, and pretty much in every scene that Ben Brandt is in, he's like throwing a little narcissistic hissy fit whenever his authority is challenged. I also think Gyllenhaal's like lack of theatricality, as I said, particularly in his fighting style, really is a good compliment to like the main baddie of this movie, which is Knox, played by Conor McGregor. This is McGregor's acting debut, and McGregor is, of course, the complete opposite of Gyllenhaal's character. McGregor brings his trademark theatricality to the role, and he just takes a gleeful delight in the theatrics of violence, the theatrics of intimidation. McGregor is one note, but I think like this is a Roadhouse remake, and I think McGregor just fits into that world perfectly. The chemistry between McGregor and Gyllenhaal really comes out in the action scenes. They have a good fighting chemistry. As far as the rest of the cast are concerned, honestly, none of them left a lasting impression on me. I think Gyllenhaal and McGregor are put front and center of this movie and really overshadow all the other characters. And one thing missing for me that you had in that original 80s movie was like a character like Sam Elliott, some other character that could really like play off of Gyllenhaal's character and the rest of the characters and introduce like some chemistry into the movie that I think was lacking. And that also goes for like the romance subplot of this movie. Just like the original movie, Gyllenhaal's character gets involved with a nurse. I actually thought that Jessica Williams' character, Frankie, would have been a better romantic pairing with Gyllenhaal's character. I think Jessica Williams is a better actress and would have provided more of an opportunity for chemistry and emotion with Gyllenhaal. So I thought that was a missed opportunity. I was also impressed by how this film really sets up the community and this community in the Florida Keys and really gives everything this local color. The film really does a nice job in setting up the context and the community, this town community, to make it feel like it could be like a real ideal town. In terms of the action, I thought all of the action was very well edited. As I've mentioned, Gyllenhaal and McGregor's fight scenes are terrific. I think Doug Liman, the director, does a good job of putting you into the action sequences. His camera work is good in the way that, like, when a punch is thrown, the camera will follow the punch and you'll see it from the perspective of the guy who's getting hit. I think there are no action scenes that are as iconic for me as, like, for example, when Patrick Swayze rips that guy's throat out, or some of those crazy explosions in the previous Roadhouse movie. Having said that, there is an action scene at the end of the movie which is set to Metallica's song Enter Sandman, and it is an awesome, awesome scene. And I thought to myself, I could definitely see a moment like that attaining a kind of iconic status later, like in a decade, people watching this remake and thinking, what a cool use of that song and what a badass scene. Overall, I had a good time with this movie. Good action, a good central performance by Jake Gyllenhaal. I wish it was a little crazier than it was and leaned into its B-movie sensibilities a bit more. On the whole, I would recommend it. It was a fun watch. I was surprised by how entertained I was, honestly. And it's something I'd probably watch again on a lazy Sunday. It's a good lazy Sunday movie. So that's my review of Roadhouse 2024. Let me know if you've seen it. Did you like it? How do you think it compares to the original? And share your comments below. And also, please subscribe if you haven't and like the video. And I'll see you next time here.